Let's talk about that one date that can fill even the bravest soul with a little bit of dread, the 31st of January. If that sounds familiar, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to completely demystify the UK self-assessment tax return for the 2025/26 tax year, breaking it all down into a super simple, step-by-step process you can do online.
Seriously, if just hearing the words tax return makes your stomach do a little flip, I get it. That feeling of stress, of just, where do you even start? It's so common.
And you are definitely not alone in feeling that way. That's why we've teamed up with the fantastic folks over at My Tax Accountant. They are absolute pros at making all this complicated tax stuff feel simple, and they've helped us put together this guide to get you from feeling confused to feeling totally confident.
So here's our game plan. First up, we'll cover the essential first steps. Then, we'll dive into what documents you need to get together. After that, it's the nitty-gritty of income and expenses. And crucially, we'll show you the costly mistakes to avoid, and finally, how to get it all filed and paid on time. Simple as that.
Right, let's get into it. Section 1, First Steps. Honestly, getting this part right is the absolute foundation for a smooth, and dare I say it, a stress-free tax return.
So, what on earth is self-assessment anyway? Well, put simply, it's just the system that HMRC uses to collect tax from any money you've earned that hasn't already been taxed through a regular paycheck. You know, like PAYE. So if you've got other income streams, this is just how you tell them about it.
Okay, so who actually needs to do this? Well, you might be surprised. It's for you if you're self-employed, a partner in a business, or a landlord. But it's also for you if you're earning more than $1,000 from a side hustle, or if your income is high enough that you have to deal with the high-income child benefit charge. If you're not sure, the gov.uk website has a handy tool to check.
Now, before you can do anything online, you need what's called a government gateway account. It sounds a bit formal, but it's really easy. Just head to the official gov.uk site, and only the official one, and follow the steps. You'll need something like a P60 or a recent payslip just to prove you are who you say you are. Then you just create a user ID, pick a good password, and set up the two-step security with your phone. Job done.
All right, on to our next section. Gathering your key documents. And I cannot say this enough, getting your paperwork in order before you sit down to start is half the battle won. It turns this huge, scary task into something you can actually manage.
Think of this slide as your ultimate checklist. You're going to need your personal details, like that 10-digit Unique Taxpayer Reference, or UTR, you get from HMRC. And then you need proof of all your income, whether that's your P60 from your job, your own business invoices, or statements showing any bank interest. Getting all this stuff together first will save you so much time and hassle.
And here's a little pro tip for you. Trust me on this one. As soon as this is over, go create a new folder in your email called Tax Stuff and get a physical folder for any paper bits. Every time a receipt or a statement comes in, just chuck it in there. It is such a tiny habit, but it will save you hours of panic searching later. You'll thank me, I promise.
Okay, let's move on to Section 3, Income, Expenses, and Reliefs. You know, I like to think of this part not as just filling in a boring form, but more like you're telling the story of your financial year. What did you earn? What did it cost you to earn it? And are there any little perks you can claim?
So, let's talk about expenses. What can you actually claim for? Well, here are the big ones. Stuff like office costs, travel, advertising. The golden rule you need to remember is that the expense has to be wholly and exclusively for your business. That's the test HMRC uses.
Let's make this real. So let's say we have Amara. She's a freelance graphic designer based in London. She has to travel to Manchester for a client meeting. That train ticket? Yep, she can claim that. It's a business expense. But what about her daily trip on the tube to her co-working space? Nope, that's just a normal commute, so she can't claim for it. And understanding that difference is absolutely crucial.
But that's not all. Please don't forget about tax reliefs. Any money you put into your personal pension can actually lower your final tax bill. And same goes for any charitable donations you make using gift aid. If you're a higher rate taxpayer, you can claim back the extra tax. These are so easy to miss, but they can make a real difference to how much you owe.
Okay, now for a really important bit, avoiding costly mistakes. Stay with me here, because this is the section that could literally save you a lot of money and a massive headache. We're going to look at the common traps people fall into.
Right, these are the top 3 slip-ups. Number 1, simple maths errors. Just double-check everything, or better yet, use software that does it for you.
Number 2, forgetting to declare all your income. That little weekend gig, the few quid from renting out your spare room. It all counts. And number 3, and this is a big one, bad record keeping. You have to keep your records for at least 6 years. HMRC can ask to see them at any point.
And look, getting it wrong, especially with the deadlines, can get very expensive, very, very quickly. The penalties for filing late aren't just a slap on the wrist. They start straight away, and they grow fast.
Miss the deadline by just one single day, and boom, there's an immediate automatic penalty, £100. Just like that.
Now, if you're 3 months late, on top of that first 100 quid, they start charging you £10 a day. That can add up to another £900. So suddenly you could be looking at £1,000 in fines.
And it doesn't even stop there. After 6 months, there's another penalty of 5% of the tax you owe, or £300, whichever one is bigger. Seriously, the longer you leave it, the worse it gets. It is just not worth the risk.
Which brings us perfectly to our final section, filing and paying on time. Knowing these dates isn't optional, it's essential. So get your diary out or your phone, whatever you use.
Okay, here they are, the big ones for the tax year we're talking about. First, you've got to register for self-assessment by the 5th of October 2025. If for some reason you're still doing a paper return, that's due by the 31st of October. But the main event, the one for pretty much all of us, is the 31st of January 2026. That is the final deadline for your online return and for paying the tax you owe. Circle it, underline it, do not leave it to the last minute.
Phew, we have covered a lot. And look, even with all this guidance, if it still feels a bit overwhelming, that's completely okay. The most important thing to remember is that you do not have to figure this all out by yourself.
The team at My Tax Accountant who helped us put all this together are there to help you directly. So if you've got a tricky question or you just want that peace of mind that it's all been done right, get in touch with them. You can call or even WhatsApp them on 07854 255 375 or just drop them an email at info@mytaxaccountant.co.uk.
I really hope this has made the whole tax return process feel a lot less scary and way more manageable. If it did, why not subscribe to the My Tax Accountant channel for more clear, simple advice just like this? Thanks so much for joining me. You got this.